In this video, I want to give you a case study of one of the very early businesses that I tried, which had kind of not total fail, but very lukewarm success that gave me a lot of lessons, but also hard lessons, like a ton of marketing mistakes that I'm going to share with you now.
This video is brought to you by EpiPies Academy.
So this is the website for it now. The website is poorly designed and the business itself is essentially dead. It's just that the website is up. This website now, it probably makes me like $25 a month or something. So it's kind of a dead business. But now I just want to walk you through this case study. So in the beginning, it started out as a Meetup.com competitor. Meetup, of course, is the site where you can organize events about anything. In this case, it was competing with a part of Meetup, which was focusing on hiking groups. A lot of hiking groups, they just use Meetup. And I just wanted to poach the organizers and the groups, and I thought it would be easy to get them because they have to pay on Meetup, and on my site it would be for free and I would monetize with ads. So that's what I thought. That was a mistake because you don't want to compete with a loved giant competitor. And not everybody likes Meetup, but overall they are a liked company. They have problems, sure, but they're liked. And I just couldn't poach the hikers or the hike leaders because all the time people were like, well, they were asking me like, well, your site helps me organize hikes. Well, I just use Meetup, and the $12 fee every 2 weeks, that's a nominal fee. It's not a big fee for most people. So I was like, oh my God. I went into this business and like very, very early on, I realized I am in the wrong business. Like I made a mistake. How do I wiggle out of this? Because my idea to poach hikers wasn't working. So I started thinking hard and I started creating these really cool themed hikes. Like one hike was like a hunt for shipwrecks along the San Francisco coast, and we were looking for shipwrecks that drowned. There actually are like 3 shipwrecks you can see during low tide. So it was very kind of cool and adventurous, and a lot of the days, they were like the coolest sounding events in the city that day. They were like historical hikes and very interesting things that many people didn't even know existed. And that got me actually a lot of attention and publicity just through the uniqueness. And because of the uniqueness, I was able to stand out, but because I led the hikes myself, that business wasn't scalable, so that wasn't the end. That was only like, okay, I'm getting some money from the people joining, I'm growing, but I couldn't keep doing this long-term every day and grow it into a good business. So I had to think of something else. Luckily, because I got all those mentions from getting publicity on news sites and blogs and all that about the cool hikes, my site started becoming authoritative in SEO and it started to rank for a lot of keywords. And that gave a beginning to a new phase of this business where I realized, oh, I can just make new pages. And whereas early on, it's really hard to rank for SEO, once your site is authoritative, it becomes actually easy to rank for SEO. So what I did is I algorithmically auto-generated 300,000 SEO pages that were meant to rank for keywords like hiking in San Francisco, hiking in LA, hiking in somewhere else, hiking in this, all kinds of wildlife keywords, nature-related keyword, everything related to the outdoors. The problem was that because these pages were auto-generated, the pages were what's considered thin content. There wasn't any original content on the pages, and for a while that worked. But then one day I opened my Google Analytics and I was hoping the traffic went up because it was going up every day. And then boom, the traffic dropped like a rock. I got penalized by Google and it never really recovered. So I had to move on from that business because Google penalties are just brutal to recover from. And anyway, I didn't want to keep doing the self-led hikes and I couldn't poach from Meetup. So my marketing strategies kind of got exhausted. And even though everything kind of worked a tiny bit, nothing worked great, but I learned a lot about events. I learned a lot about SEO and all these. And so that actually was the business that I ran before the Problemio.com business. And it gave me all these learnings for marketing in different aspects. You see, there was like literally 3 businesses inside of this one business. So I got a lot of hard experience actually doing the marketing. in different situations. And over time, that made me stronger and stronger and stronger in marketing. And this was maybe 2010, something around that time, 2009. So you see, it took a while, but over time, all that experience eventually led to success with marketing. But it did take all this time and a tremendous amount of failure. I mean, there was so much struggle in this, right? Tried one thing, didn't work. Another thing didn't work. Another thing didn't work. Another thing, had to quit the business, but learned a lot.